What's up, everybody, and welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Cuppa Hockey presented by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And we're also presented by Parasso, the most complete choice for shaving and beard care, made in Italy since 1948. Parasso has been a staple of Italian culture and barbershops globally for 4 generations, so get 15% off at Parasso-USA.com with our promo code Hockey15 in all caps, Hockey15. That's Colby Cohen. I'm Jonny Lazarus, and we have 2 great guests for you today. We got Maxime Lapierre, the former Montreal Canadien, former NHLer, who does his show now called Hockey with an Accent, which are Montreal Canadiens post-game shows. We also got Mike Grinnell, our good friend from Spit and Chicklets. So should be pretty fun. Maxime Lapierre making his debut on this show. Excited to talk to him and meet him and talk to him about his career and what he's got going on with Hockey with an Accent. Colby, just kind of looking around at things this morning, I feel like the Eastern Conference wildcard race has been made a lot closer than people might think. Looking at the standings, the Penguins 78 points, Islanders 77 points in the Metro division. Red Wings 79 points, and the wild card teams: Montreal 78, Boston 76. Yeah, Columbus creeping up at 74. Ottawa right there at 73. Ottawa 4-0-2 since returning from the Olympic break, and then the Washington Capitals are the interesting one to me. Obviously, trading off John Carlson. Kind of scratching your head why they decided to sell at the deadline, being within 7 points, 6 points, 5 points, 5 points, doing the math now of the playoffs. The Eastern Conference is going to heat up a little bit here towards the last 15-plus games. What are you kind of thinking right now as far as these teams go? You think we're set?
Well, yeah. So who do you think stays in and stays out? I mean, like,
I think Columbus is going to get in.
Well, I heard this morning, I think on NHL, that since Rick Bowness has taken over, they have the best record in the NHL over that span of time, since Bones took that team over. So we've also seen him healthy scratch the likes of Kent Johnson and others. You know, he's not afraid. I mean, he's such an interesting coach because he's in a 1-year deal, and it seems like at this stage of his career, it's sort of take it or leave it. You know, and he's not some hardo type of coach, but there's still non-negotiables with every coach, right? No matter what type of personality they have, and he doesn't seem to care. If you're not meeting his non-negotiables, you're not going to play.
Yeah, and again, like Columbus yesterday, they had a game like within reach, 4-4. It goes to OT against LA. I don't know if you saw the Brian Dumoulin goal. Connor Garland makes a horrible sliding play at the point. Brian Dumoulin is not a guy known for his offense. He does a curl and drag and beats Jet Greaves low to the blocker side to give LA that 4-3 lead. Sick goal, but that just goes to show you.
Watts took a penalty late in the third that puts him on the power play that ends up sending that game to overtime too. Although he has been scoring since he got to LA, makes you wonder about his usage in Toronto. He goes to LA, he's got 2 goals in 2 games since joining.
2 goals in 2 games, and I think he had 2 goals in his entire tenure, including playoffs with the Leafs. So, not sure what to make of that there. But we do have Maxime Lapierre ready, so we're going to talk to him about
it.
Well, you see Patty was getting killed yesterday by Toronto media and fans because he went on Overdrive and was talking about the media, like how the pressure of playing in Toronto, there's 25, media members in the room every day. And then people ran with that and, started calling the Maple Leafs players soft. And if you can't handle the media as a professional athlete, all these things that we always hear out of Toronto. But I found it funny that Patty was getting killed for that. But I think we should get into Maxime Lapierre. We should bring him on. Excited to have him as a part of our team now with Daily Faceoff doing his post-game live shows called Hockey with an Accent. No read, Vic. Let's just bring him in. First of all, it's an honor to meet you, Maxime. Very happy to have you here as a part of our team. And I guess just for people who aren't familiar with what you're doing yet, we would love to hear about how Hockey with an Accent got started. I know you got a big show planned for tomorrow and what's going to be a huge game between the Canadiens and Sens now with how close the Sens have gotten.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, guys. Really appreciate it. Obviously, it's a new beginning for us, starting a show. We've been doing it in French for 7 seasons now, but we thought it was a time to go on the English side a little bit for post games at least. And tomorrow we have a big show after the big game against Ottawa. We have a great panel. Kevin Bieksa is going to be there. PK Subban, Scott Gomez, Rick Nash. the Mathieu Dandonneau, Pascal Leclerc, former goaltender for Ottawa and Columbus, full panel. So it's going to be a bunch of friends talking about hockey, obviously, tavern style with a beer once in a while. And we want to give a little something to the fans here in English.
Yeah, you look at that market and you look at the Are you okay, Jonny? You look like you might.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Sometimes people like to think before they blurt something out. You know that's okay, right?
Go. Please go.
I mean, listen, when you're in that market, there's just so much opportunity. Every time we talk about the Montreal Canadiens, it seems like the numbers for our show are double what they normally are. And the same could be said for, you know, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And as we were just talking about the Leafs a little bit and what our pal Patty Maroon, who comes on our show all the time, was saying to the media yesterday. But I'm just curious from your perspective, because you've been in the pressure cooker market and you had such a long and successful run, you know, with the Montreal Canadiens. It's kind of where you establish yourself in the National Hockey League as a name that people knew before going over to Vancouver. What is it like, you know, being in a market, as I always kind of compare it to what it must be like playing in the NFL here in the United States, playing in a market like Toronto, like Montreal, because as much as the opportunities are endless, there is an added level of scrutiny and pressure as well.
Yeah, for sure. It is nonstop. But, you know, guys, at the end of the day, the players that were on the Montreal Canadiens that are working and doing their jobs and playing the right way, they never had an issue with pressure. You know, it's the people that are cheating or not playing the right way that get out of this market at one point and they're saying it was tough and so many medias and all that, but never seen someone doing the right thing, not accepting the visibility you have in a great market. And you got to use that for yourself. Like, you got to take it like it's a fun market and play the right way. You're going to become a god here, like in Montreal. See, I live the same thing in Vancouver. Like this is a great place to play hockey. And yes, there's a lot of interviews, but I think you have to accept that you're part of a franchise with history. You're part of a franchise where the fans are passionate about it, and they're just maybe sometimes it comes out the right way, but they're just there for you and they just want you to do well on the ice.
So I don't know if you've seen like the specific stats. I think Cole Caulfield this year, he's close to 40 goals. Must have like 36, 37 goals. But from what I've heard, I need to get the exact stat, but I think like 16 or 17 of them have been on a Saturday, right? Like the Saturday at Montreal, like Cole Caulfield always seems to shine under the bright lights. But for you playing in Montreal for, 5+ seasons, like what is the most special part about that Saturday night at the Bell Center? Like I need to know from a player, like someone who lived it, because you kind of hear about it and how it's like, I don't even think you can compare it to anything in sports. Like what is that build up for Saturday night like in Montreal?
Well, as a young player, guys, I'm not gonna lie here. There's the on ice part and there's the off ice part. It's so loud on a Saturday night in the building, and you feel the heat. You know the fans have been waiting for this game all week long, and then after the game, you go to the restaurant, you go out. Like if you have a good game, everybody's gonna come to you and talk about the game and be proud of yourself. So I just feel like it's a special moment in Montreal, Saturday night hockey, and it's the fun part. Like I just said, as a young player, like it's a lot of pressure, but I feel like it's one of the only market in hockey where you get out and you feel like you're a Hollywood actor, like you're a Hollywood star. This is the way people feel, especially guys like Cole Caulfield, Demidov, Stavkovsky, off the ice. Like it's special, guys. Like you can take it the wrong way, but when you retire after a great career, like they're gonna have, like you don't get these moments back. Like like it's just a matter of 10 to 15 years, and then when you're sitting in the morning drinking your coffee and nobody recognizes you, then you're thinking, wow, I should have taken advantage of it while it was going on.
I remember playing in a preseason games at the Bell Center and it just being like, wait, this many people come to a preseason game? I mean, I guess anytime it's Bruins versus Montreal preseason, playing on a Wednesday night on a pond in the middle of a lake, people are going to come in Montreal. And that year in the 11 playoffs, I did, because we had stops in Montreal in the first round, and then obviously we finished in Vancouver. But Jonny, those are the only two cities where fans know enough that they even knew people were actually
The
coming up
Black
to
Ace
me in the bar. And
yeah.
because we're the only guys going out in the playoffs. We're traveling. The few of us that were traveling. I don't know if you know Jordan Caron at all, Max. He's a fellow countryman, obviously. I know he lives up that way still. But, we were out and about every night in every city. And people would literally come up. And they were friendly to us, too. They knew who we were. And we'd be like, how do you know who we – we're like, you can count the amount of games we played this year on one hand. And it is just a different animal up there. It is really cool.
It's funny you say this because I have a little story back in the days when we started. I don't know if you guys remember Guillaume Latendresse, but we started our career. We started at the same time, and at one point, people were recognizing us everywhere we were going, obviously, and we wanted to eat hot dogs and poutine, and we were going to that restaurant often called La Belle Province. And at one point, people started to give us they were telling us, hey guys, you're young players, you gotta eat the right way, you gotta take care of your bodies, playoffs are coming and all that. So next thing you know, Guillaume and I at one point were hiding in the pickup truck in the back, and his girlfriend was driving to, and we were just eating in the back so people don't recognize us. So this is the type of thing you live in Montreal. But like I said, create some funny moments.
Yeah. Does it put more stress on you doing the show that you're going to be doing? Obviously, you've been doing it for 7 years. Now you're going to do it in English as well. But do you feel like, okay, I played for the team, and you're well known, but you also have probably still good relationships within the organization. You're an alumni, and what you say probably holds a lot of weight, and people are listening. It's not like Jonny and I can say certain things and nobody in the New York Rangers locker room is going to give a shit what Jonny has to say, or, in whatever other locker room. If I'm talking about the Boston Bruins, Don Sweeney, I don't think I'm getting an angry text from Don Sweeney anytime soon. What about you? Because it is such a different animal, as we've kind of now been talking about. But when you are talking on the show, like on our show, well, I shouldn't say we let it fly. I let it fly. I probably
get scared
the line too frequently. But listen, I'm just being honest in the moment about certain ways that I feel about certain things, and I try to make sure I never make it personal about a player, and never ever want to do that. But sometimes you got to call it like it is. Is that difficult in that market, or that's just, hey, we're in the big leagues, man?
It is tough to a certain level because everyone has a different opinion about the player's game, right? So, for example, since the beginning of the year here, the talk in town has been the goalies, specifically Montembeault, and he's having a tough stretch right now, and it's a tough season for him. So I started at the beginning of the year, and I was saying, you know what, guys, just be patient. At one point, he's a veteran player, give him time to find his game. Dobes is really good, but it's not the time to make the call right now that he stole the net, So, but then you got half the people that are writing to you that I'm crazy and this guy should be on waivers. And then you got the other half that are saying, you're too hard on Montembeault. I think they should give him a bigger chance. So you're never going to be a winner. And you have to realize this quickly. Only thing I'm trying to do is always to make sure I have some solid facts, right, guys? Because it's easy to go and say this guy is not good enough, but why is he not good enough? What's going on? What are the stats? For example, everyone was saying he's not even over 900 as a goaltender, but then I made my research and I'm trying to show people that the game as a goaltender has changed because the guys are so good now and the shots are so good that the 900 that used to be the standard in the NHL, the stats are going down, and it's normal. The shots are so good and the players are so skilled. The 900 is going to be the norm now. You're going to have a lot of players or goaltender that are going to be under 900. So I'm just trying to show that it's not that dramatic. Now you fast forward to a few days ago, I said it's time for Dobes to be number one, and we play until the end of season, and we'll fix the trouble in the summer or next training camp. Then what do you think happens? 50% of people are telling me I'm crazy because I'm too hard on Montembeault, and Dobes is too young. He hasn't proven enough in the NHL to be number one. So it's just about being honest. I think being respectful of the human being behind the hockey player. And I think you guys know, like in markets like Montreal, New York, Boston, like they're just looking for honesty. And if you're classy in the way you're expressing it, I think you're going to be fine. But I didn't get a phone call yet. Hopefully I will get one.
Well, then let me ask you this. Let me just follow up with you on that topic, because I think goaltending has been a really big topic of the Montreal Canadiens this season. And I think a lot of us were curious because we were hearing the rumors. I mean, even on our coverage with Daily Faceoff, we heard Kent Hughes was working on some big things and we were going to be shocked. And now rumors are starting to trickle out that maybe there was a deal with Toronto that was being made. I mean, look, I have no idea. It's all speculation, but we did ask, like, is goaltending something Montreal is looking at? Are they looking to pry a goalie out from somewhere else? Does that really make sense? Does that, and that became a very hot topic of the Daily Faceoff's coverage. So let me ask you, Max, like, do you look at this team post-trade deadline and do you feel like they addressed the needs that they had? Because I think the outer circle, which I would include us in, like we're outsiders, but we love Montreal because they really do play a brand of hockey that is exciting to watch. The way they possess the puck, the way that they skate, they have players that are electric. But to us, they didn't fill their holes. And I don't foresee them having enough to make a long playoff run. So where are you at with the trade deadline and what they did or didn't address?
Well, I think here in Montreal, we know that Kent Hughes, he's patient. He's going to be patient, and he's not going to blow up everything just to try to play an extra round in the playoffs this year. That being said, I think the like you said, what we needed to improve, was it improve? Let's start in net. I think in net we're fine, because if you look at the future, we got Fowler. Dobes is doing well. He looks structured in net now. At the beginning of the year, he was swimming in his crease, but that has changed a little bit. He looks like a solid goaltender, big, tall guy. So you got those two young guys. You would think that at one point Montembeault is going to get back to at least the level of being a good backup goalie. So you got three goaltenders here, and that for me is not the major issue. The major issue is the toughness, the type of defensemen that are tough to play against, tough to go in front of the net. Maybe a little more meat in front, like some players that can be physical, go to the net, disturb, fight. Obviously, we didn't address those issues, and the problem for me is not just this year. Is when we start the season next season, we still don't have these type of people, because they're not part of the young crew we have. We didn't draft. Yes, we have Jack Eye's brother, and we have a few guys in the minors. But I'm talking about players that are playing 20 minutes a night and have an impact. Because it's one thing to have toughness, but if it's for 5 to 8 minutes a game, it's a few shifts, guys. Like me, like you're not going to change the game in the season with players not playing big minutes. So, yeah, I was a little disappointed. I thought we were going to go get at least a right-handed defenseman, somebody heavy. I thought we were actually going to do the same thing Buffalo did, right? Like with Carrick, with Stanley, with Shen. They just addressed the issue with three players and it wasn't that expensive, but for me, those are all things we're going to see next season with the Canadiens. I think this year they want to be patient. They wanted to see where the kids are going. They wanted to see probably what Michael Age is going to do at the end of this season is if he joins the team. And then they're going to go from there, because don't forget, the cap is going up. There's going to be bad contracts going away, like Patrick Laine's contract. And then I think it's go time for the Montreal Canadiens.
It's a good point, too. And I kind of remember there being a pivotal play last year in that first round series against the Capitals where Tom Wilson, I forgot who he laid out on Montreal, but then like 30 seconds later, it was Carrier. And then Duhaime, I think, scores like 30 seconds later. That changed like the entire series. And I think, because wasn't Carrier like skating off and like he didn't stick out the end of the shift, and then the change was bad and Duhaime was left on the back door. Yeah, like I remember that play being so pivotal in that series. Granted, like not every team has an answer for Tom Wilson. Like he's a unicorn in the league, but to your point, Maxime, right? Like they need just some bigger, heavier bodies on their back end. Like it seems pretty obvious. But with that said, like, Are you getting nervous here with this Eastern Conference race? Because like Montreal seemed like a for sure lock to make the playoffs before the Olympic break, and now it seems like teams are really creeping up, and their spot is not safe with how their goaltending has been and the 1-2 records since coming back from the Olympics.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And before the Olympics, I was like, wow, at least we have a little cushion right now. Like we have time to do some testing, do some stuff with the power play, the different line combination. But now it's you're gonna see what they're made of, right? And I think for them it's stressful. For us, it's a good thing because looking for them, you're like, where are they gonna be when it's go time, when there's pressure on? Because it's been like a really nice season for them, and it puts everything in perspective, right, guys? Like you're looking back and you're like, was it this year the year to be that good and be like comfortable on top of the standings? And then the answer is no. They're the youngest team in the NHL. They had issue with goaltending all year. They didn't replace the players we needed to replace, like we just like the physicality and toughness and all this. So they had a lot of injuries. Patrick Laine, Dach, Newhook, like they had issues, guys. And at the end of the day, they're still in the playoff spot. I think they're going to figure it out because they've been playing really poorly defensively, but I think they have good coaching and they're going to fix it at one point, hopefully, I hope. And I don't think it's possible that you have an issue in nets for 82 games. It has to change at one point. And now that, like I said, the pressure is on, so we're going to see what they're made of. But the biggest issue for me right now at this time of the year is that we still have three important players that they're looking for their role on the team, which is Newhook, Dach, Bolduc. Those are good young hockey players. Bolduc has a really had a really good season last year with St. Louis. And these guys are still looking for where they're going to play in the lineup. Can they play on the first line? Can they accept their role on the fourth line? And I don't think you're supposed to be looking for these roles at this time of the year.
Yeah, let me ask you about that because it seems like, especially with Newhook and Kirby, and look, I'll start with Newhook, right? He's been around a little bit longer than Kirby Dach has. Mm-hmm. It seems like this was a similar issue for him and why he ended up on the opening on the market from Colorado, right? Where he was a first round pick. He couldn't really become a top six player, but he's not built to be a bottom six player. And I think with Kirby, you look at Kirby and you're like, because I was with him in Chicago here for a couple of years, so I got to know him and got to really see him up close and personal. And you look at him and you're like, if I was going to create a hockey player on the computer, he'd look a lot like Kirby Dach. He'd be tall. He'd have skill. He'd be able to skate. He'd stick well. I mean, Kirby has every club in a bag that you could ever want, but he's yet to take the clubs out of the bag and utilize them in his career, which is why the Chicago Blackhawks looked at him during their rebuild and said, you know what? We know that you're so young, but we just don't think that your style matches our long-term plan here. And look, I give Montreal credit. And with Marty St. Louis, any player that has a ton of upside is worth looking at because it seems like Marty St. Louis can get more out of certain players. But at what point do you look at Newhook and do you look at Kirby, who, look, these are NHL players. On their worst day, they're skating circles around me. So, like, I have no issue. Like, it's not we're not even talking the same language. These guys are so talented, but they've yet to grab something in this league and say, this is who I am. And at a certain point, as I tell Jonny all the time when we talk about Lafreniere, who played, with the Rangers, like, you are what you are. You know what I mean? Like, we can't keep saying, oh,
he's on fire right now.
Point. Garbage time points. That's what he's known for. But, I just want to know, like, do you see light at the end of the tunnel with these two guys? And I feel like with Kirby, there's more upside than Newhook. But you see flashes and it gets you excited and you're like, holy shit. But, as you want more, I guess you would say, when you watch those two in particular.
Yeah, for sure. And I think long-term is going to be easier for Newhook to find a role on that team because he can play better a little bit defensively. He's a good forechecker. He had success at the beginning of the season playing with Demidov and Kapanen. This line was on fire before he got hurt. I like his energy, his work ethic. Obviously, I think he's a good player. He played in Colorado. They won the cup. That is very important experience for a young team here in Montreal. On Kirby Dach's side, I feel bad for him because he got hurt every single time that he was starting to feel a little better on the ice. He got hurt, and that is tough for a hockey player during your career. And when you come back, you always have to deal with a different type of body. Like you're slower, or you're not as flexible, or you don't feel the game the same way. And since he came back, I think, guys, he's playing well. Like he's working hard. He fought once to defend his teammate. He's going to the net. He's trying to be physical. But like you said, like when you look at the full package, big righty, great hands, good shot. Like sometimes when he was younger, you would think like, is he going to be able to become like a Ryan Getzlaf? Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit right now.
No,
but
that's a great
similar body type, actually.
Yeah,
I like that comparison.
That makes a lot of sense.
I like that comparison.
I've never heard that before, but
neither.
That dings a lot of bells in my brain for sure.
Yeah, and right now, the more games I'm watching, he's got, I think, one major issue, and is not agile. Like he's talented, he's skilled, but on his skates, he's not agile. When it's time to do a tight turn or quick feet or back checking, and the game is so fast now. I feel like this is what is catching up to him right now. It's not the way he's playing. It's not his passion, or because sometimes it's easy when you have a tall, skilled player to just go and say he's lazy. But no, he's not lazy. Maybe he's just missing a tool. And I don't know if it's too late to work on that stuff right now, but he's not agile enough. And I feel like it's costing him a role on the top six.
I feel like some guys just have that, though, and some guys don't. Like being that shifty, it's insane. Like the Demidovs, and even Cole Caulfield, how he gets out of tight windows.
Yeah,
like,
but also, hold on a second. Kirby's pushing 6'4".
Yeah.
You like
Demidov's a big guy.
Yeah, but Cole Caulfield, I mean, come on.
I just said two different examples. Like,
I know, but again, Kirby Dach is a bigger guy. Like he's 6'3" plus. How big is I'm probably 6'3", 6'4". Yeah. Kirby and I are every bit eye to eye, and he's not some skinny kid either. Yeah. Like he's got some meat on his lower half as far as like his legs, his ass. Like but even Tage is pretty agile for a bigger guy. Like Tage gets out of those tight windows. Like there are guys who are able to do it. Tage again kind of took him a little bit longer than most. But I think, I guess to Maxime's point, like I don't know if that's something that guys can like learn at this stage. It's so hard to just have that skill, especially as a bigger guy.
It is hard. Like it is hard to learn at this point in your career. And the other thing is the matchup. If he plays with Suzuki and Caulfield on the wing, then he's facing the best Ds on the other side. So when I talk about being agile on your skates, it's tough for him to get out of the corner and create. Let's say if you play against Cale Makar, compared to playing against the third pair, guys. Like, so for him, I think in the best case scenario is having a role on the third line, like being focused on playing the right way defensively and being able to bring or contribute offensively once in a while. So, and this is where we have an issue right now. Our bottom six, we don't know what's the perfect fit.
Yeah. Max, I want to kind of go on a side tangent here before we let you go, because we do have Mike Grinnell joining here in a second. But one of the games that I remember vividly from my childhood that you played in, I'm a Ranger fan, grew up a Ranger fan, the 5-0 comeback, probably one of the best games in Montreal Canadian, at least regular season history. I think you had an assist in that game too, looking at the box score earlier this morning. But that game, I think it's actually ranked as like the best Montreal Canadiens game in the last 25 years or so, whatever. But do you remember like specifically any moments from that game? Like 5-0, you guys are down, come back and win 6-5 in the shootout. Like had to be the coolest game of all time that you've played in as far as regular season goes.
Oh, of course, and it was the loudest I've ever seen Bell Center, and it was just like it was like a movie, guys. Like you're coming back, yeah, you got the big guns like Kovalev or Koivu. They're scoring big goals or making big plays. And then at the end, the last moment of the game is Jaromir Jagr facing Cristobal Huet for the last shot of the game, and we need to stop it to win. Just so much nerve, so much fun, and the feeling of seeing the building emptying, and then you're thinking about all those people that miss probably one of the most important time in the history or the new era history. They're just left, and then you win the game. I feel like these people, when they arrive home, they're like, maybe we should have stuck with our team a little longer. But yeah, it was fun, and it was probably my only chance in my career to play on the top six, because after the first period, the coach just snapped, so he changed the lines, and I think I was playing with Michael Ryder, and they put Mark Streit as a forward on my left side, and we just they just shook things up, and we ended up winning. It was fun to be part of it.
Michael Ryder, that's a blast from the past. What a beauty!
What a sniper!
Oh my god! Oh my god! He was always in Claude Julien's doghouse, but he still played on that third line or that second line, because you knew with him, like, he could sleepwalk for 58.5 minutes. He just needed one opportunity somewhere around the top of the circles, and he could put that thing on an absolute string. Like,
for sure.
Total beauty off the ice too. I mean, the amount of times during the 11 Cup run that I ran into him in the wee hours of the night when he would be playing a game the next day. Clearly, I was not.
Funniest guy ever too. He's so funny.
And I would run into him in like the team suite at like God only knows what time it was, leaving the Roxy or wherever else. And he would be, and I'd be like, you have to play tomorrow. What is happening here? And he'd go out and have 1-1, like no big deal. Yeah. He was a great, oh man, he was an important guy, kept it light, just like wanted to have a good time. He was a great guy. I'm happy to hear you bring up his name. So, so every Montreal game now moving forward, there will be a post-game show. That's every game the rest of the way here.
Except on weekends, but during the week. And we're obviously going to have more shows, interviews with players, and we're just doing the whole thing here. We want to have fun. We want to go and meet some other people. We have our crowd in French, but now a lot of people were asking us to go in English. So it's a new
awesome
era for us. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Give the people what they want, right? Well, listen, we'll be looking forward to being able to understand the show in English. We're looking forward to that. The guest panel that you had, I mean, PK
tomorrow night.
He's worth buying a ticket. PK is a guy who really lets it fly in media. He's one of the more outgoing personalities, and obviously was a hell of a hockey player, won a Norris Trophy amongst other things, and when you get to know him, he's a good person as well, and he's done a lot of really good things for a lot of people. So we'll be checking out the show, and hopefully Montreal will hang on to the playoff spot. I think the hockey's better when Montreal and Detroit, and I mean, it's devastating to see the Rangers in Toronto, in my opinion, be so bad this year. I do not enjoy that. But we will hopefully revisit with you here towards the stretch run and as we get towards playoffs, and we'll definitely be checking the show out.
All right, guys. Keep up the good work, Keep it up.
Appreciate you.
Doing a great job.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Max.
Enjoy tomorrow night. Hopefully the Habs
Thank you.
win it.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome stuff. Great to have him on for the first time. What a cool guest. I mean, we can also go so many different places. Obviously, Colby, he was a part of that Vancouver Canucks 2011 team that went to the Cup final. We didn't even get there.
Thing I said to Vic, I was like, wait, was he the biter? I don't remember. And Vic was like, no, that wasn't him. But he was, listen, Max was tough. A shifter. Like he played the game tough. Like he was a disturber out there. There were a lot of conversations about him on our side in the locker room, and trying to kind of make sure you didn't get roped into it with him, because he was not he wasn't afraid of anything. And it's funny listening to him talk about what they need. It just makes me like realize and appreciate that year having Seidenberg, Chara, Ferentz, Boychuk, McQuaid. It's like you want to win a Stanley Cup. Yes, now you need a little bit more of a fluid group, but that group of defensemen, did I leave anybody out? Oh, Caberlet played on that team. I mean, obviously Caberlet wasn't. Yeah, Nides didn't really play. He was an insurance policy. He was there just to make sure that if God forbid something happened, someone like me wouldn't have to play. But they built their team to be a big, strong group of guys that, like Colton Parayko style, you know what I mean? Like make them go through the car wash, as Doug Armstrong said. So, I that was kind of what I was thinking about when he was talking about that, is thinking like, yeah, like it's good to have a big, strong D-corps. There's a thing that I've seen on the internet where teams haven't won a Stanley Cup with like more than one defenseman under the height of 5'10" or 5'11" in the last number of years. Like you'd have to go back and look it all up, but basically like teams that don't have big defensive cores, they don't win the Stanley Cup.
That's why you saw Buffalo load up. That's why Maxime said like Buffalo got Logan Stanley, Luke Shen. Like that's why they wanted, and look at the defensemen they have already. And like a guy like Matthias Samuelsson, Owen Power, these are big boys. The Buffalo Sabres, they loaded up their blue line. Harder to get
through at that size.
Yeah. But we do have Mike Grinnell, a good friend of the show, hasn't been on in a while, actually. So excited to catch up with G. Before we bring G on, just a quick word from our sponsor, Out West. So the Zakara Performance Hoodie, as everyone knows, it's Colby and mine's favorite. I don't know what the correct grammar would be there. It's one of those pieces you put on once and immediately don't take off. Lightweight, breathable, and insanely comfortable with just the right amount of stretch. The fit is athletic without feeling tight, and it works everywhere. Early mornings, travel days, or just wearing it all day. Check out the Zakara Performance Hoodie from Out West. Every game needs an outlaw. And with that, let's bring on our friend of the show, recurring guest, rocking the Wisconsin hat because Chicklets U, Wisconsin, comes out today. Is it out already, G?
I thought we were going to talk about the current state of political affairs when I joined here. Mayor Mamdani.
That's my favorite topic.
Exactly. That's what I thought I was coming on to talk, but no,
let's bring politics into sports.
Political commentator.
Yeah, we got a Chicklets U coming out today. 2 p.m. Wisconsin. What a place to play college hockey, guys. Like Madison, unreal. Wisconsin. I was texting Brian Yandel about it last night, who's out there right now because his kid's playing in the USHL. And I'm just telling him, Mike, wow, the town itself
is that old that he's playing already in the USHL.
Oh my gosh.
Like I remember Brian and Buddy being at the rink watching him when he was like 5 years. Like that's scary to me that he's already of age to play junior hockey.
It's crazy. Before we know it, we're going to be like talking about them on here. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
How Chicklets U, Wisconsin's coming out. Mike Hastings, what a guy. I know Colby. Yeah. I know you're a big fan of that guy. What a salt of the earth guy. Just like beers always in the coach's room. just an unbelievable guy. Joe Palatichuk did the tour with us. Blake Montgomery, Quinn Finley, Ben Dextheimer. We got Caulfield in the mix. We got Big Cat in the mix. We got Joe Pavelski in the mix. So it's a good one.
He is the ultimate leader of men, Mike Hastings. Like, I feel like you could drop him into like an army platoon. You could drop him into an office of a Fortune 500 company. You could put him in charge of a high school gym class. It doesn't matter. He is going to lead Mike Hastings. That's what he is.
Yeah, no question. I think he's building something special there too. I mean, he's only been there, this is year 3, I think. Yeah. So I think they're sitting number 10 right now in the MPI. So that's great to see. But yeah, I love their team. I love the school was awesome. Cole Center is absolutely gorgeous.
Sick.
But yeah, I'm excited for this video to come out.
You know that?
Are you guys doing Vegas, G?
Frozen 4? I'll tell you what, I'll be there. I'll be there regardless. We're still working on some things. Merle's has IceCon that same weekend, so we're just trying to figure it all out. But I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. It's funny, we love when those episodes come out. I think they just do such a good job of highlighting these different programs. And look, we don't we don't cover Wisconsin enough. Like we talk a lot more about Hockey East because of where we all live. And, you know, Wisconsin is such a proud program and all the incredible alumni that have come from there. It's also, forget the hockey part of it, because Butchie and I for years would go up to Wisconsin and do 2 games a year at Wisconsin, part of this like agreement that ESPN and the Big Ten had previous to Big Ten Network. How about the town? I mean, Madison is just like, perfect. You couldn't have a better college town, G.
I think it's the best college town in America. I really do. It's the lake like they have there is unbelievable. And it was actually really cool in this video. One of the nights we met a bunch of the club hockey guys out at a bar, and they told us about this giant pond hockey tournament that they do in front of their massive frat house on the lake, where they raise, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars for cancer research. So they have all these kids come and watch them play pond hockey. And so that was one of the things we really wanted to highlight in this video, that, you know, there's a lot of people that are watching these videos that aren't going to have the opportunity to play Division I hockey. And we wanted to show that, you know, you can be a hockey guy and go to Wisconsin and not play on the team and still have a place and still enjoy your time there. So it was really cool. Like every frat house is just this castle with like a pond hockey rink right in front of them. And then downtown Madison, all the bars, college club, all-time bar. It's a really, really cool place to play college hockey. And I think one of the coolest parts about it too is the second the weather gets nice, they have a golf course on campus. And then there's a golf course on campus that all the guys can play for like $60-$70. And then there's a TPC that's also really close, that a former like Wisconsin player is like the general manager or something there and just dials all the boys in. So these guys are living life. And one of the guys on the team, I forgot his name, he bought a team boat. So like the second the weather gets nice, all the boys just go out on the team boat and just have a day.
That's sick. I actually, you know, I've never really asked you this question, honestly, on the side off the record, but like, you've been to so many schools, and I feel like Wisconsin is one of those schools that you don't like necessarily, if you're from the East Coast, you don't realize like how sick it actually is. Like I remember the first time I went, my dad drove me up there when we were playing the Nike Bauer tournament in Chicago, Colby. My dad drove me like 2 hours to go see Wisconsin. That's always something we did in hockey trips, was go see like the local big school. And that's one that caught me by surprise. I'm curious, G, just for you, like doing Chicklets, was there a campus that like you didn't really know much about going in that like really just took your breath away, like from how sick it was, just the atmosphere, the vibe, the students, like the whole aura of the school?
West Point. I'd say no question it was West Point. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I love America. I think that's something you guys know. Colby knows. We talk about how much we love this country all the time, but I love this country. And first off, I didn't know how beautiful the campus was. It's breathtaking. The second you enter the campus, it's unlike anything I've seen. But you just being around those people who were there to serve a bigger purpose than playing college hockey, and they're there for so much more. It was unequivocally, I think, I say West Point. That was my favorite tour. Coach Riley too, in his final season, he was he's just such an awesome guy. And actually, you set that whole thing up, Jonny.
Mikey Sacco. Yeah, Mikey Sacco. That's my boy. Yeah.
So Jonny connected me with Mikey Sacco.
I wouldn't say I set it up. You just told me you were going, and I said I knew the captain. I wouldn't say I set it up.
Oh, I thought you kind of set it up more, but regardless, I'll give you the assist there.
I'll take credit. Yeah, I'll take credit.
I love Zach McKelvey. I played with him in Providence in the American League, and he's going to do a great job. I pissed off Coach Riley so bad last year, G. Like he's still angry with me.
He's a hard guy to piss off.
We had a guy that was committed to go to West Point on our team with the Titans, and he flipped his commitment to go to BU. And they were like very, like, Zach and I have spoken, and I called Zach and I just told him, I mean, look, the kid, without going into crazy details, but the kid just didn't feel like it was the right fit for him. And he had a number of other schools that started circling on him. And his dad went to BU. And so his dream was always BU. It wasn't actually, believe it or not, I looked at the team and said, I don't think you should go to BU. I don't think you're going to play if you go to BU. And there were 2 other schools that I thought there'd be more of an opportunity to play. So I was kind of like, look, it will be great. I had a great experience. So, but he was so angry with me that he made a phone call over to the athletic director at school, and like I got an angry phone call, and oh man, and I like, and look, I get how it looks, and I understand why they would feel that way, but like it, you know, I'm hoping I can cross paths with him and just apologize and tell him like, look, I know how it looks, and like I apologize and I'll own it, and like I'm not even going to try to explain it to him. It doesn't matter at this point. He's just not.
Yeah, but good on you though. I think that's good on you though for talking to the kid about this, and like going to West Point is it's the biggest decision of your life. It's like I mean, after your sophomore year, you have to serve 5 years of military time.
Yeah.
It's you're deciding at 16, 17 years old, I'm not just picking the next 4 years of my life. I'm picking the next 10 to 15 years of my life. And I already know the career I'm going to because it's going to be military based. So I don't think that's one thing I learned from that tour is it takes a special type of person to play at that sport.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. No,
it's not for everyone.
No, we have a kid right now, a defenseman who's committed there, and I totally understand why he's committed there. He has that personality and everything. So I do want
to say though, like I think kids should go visit West Point. I know even if you're not considering the military service or anything like that, I do think it's important for you to go because it will open your mind up. And I think we want to see the West Point Hawk. We want to see Army do well. So I do think all kids should still go visit and give it a chance.
Yeah.
It's cool too, though, when you play them, they give you the tour as well. Like we played them in Atlantic Hockey, obviously, and they kind of walk you through the entire school. Like it's really cool. The first time I played against them, I remember the tour being like very eye opening, obviously. You remember the name of the thing when you climbed to the Heinze, the thing, what's it called?
The Trail of the Fallen.
Trail of the Fallen. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And it's cool too that NHL teams go there. Like Wade told a story one time of when he was in Pittsburgh, they went there and they had like a planned attack, like they faked an attack on the base while the Penguins were there. And
really?
And like George LaRock was freaking out, and it's a really funny story on Chicklets. I don't want to dive too deep because I don't know exactly.
Yeah. All right, I want to switch topics a little bit to the Bees. And there are some relevant talking points here since we are talking about college hockey. Everybody in our chat is asking if BC were to lose in the next couple of days, are Letourneau and Hagens joining the team right now? Here's what I will say before I kick it over to you, G. I texted Letourneau's agent yesterday, who just so happens to be my agent as well. And I said, what's the deal with Dean? Is he coming back to school? I sent him like 3 texts in a row. And he didn't say yes, but he didn't say no either. Like I asked him 2 questions and he only answered the second question.
That's when you know when they do stuff like that.
The second question was a joke. About I'm like, hey, you know, if he doesn't want to stay at BC, like I know there's a lot of other places that would love him, obviously joking. But what are your expectations for the Boston Bruins? Do you feel like they will continue to hold on to a playoff spot? Obviously they stood pat at the trade deadline. And I think I saw your tweet that said, if the prices are what the prices are, I'm totally okay with Don Sweeney holding his cards. And do you think James Hagens, because he seems to be the more popular topic and probably the guy who's going to leave, is he ready to jump right into the NHL and play for the Bruins and contribute right now based on what you've seen at BC this year?
I don't know. I mean, he's been awesome in the second half. I mean, I think it's no question. First half started a bit slow, but second half of the season, I think James Hagens been incredible. I think he's ready. I do. I think James Hagens is ready, and it's like if it's a young man's league now, right? Like we're seeing guys like Matthew Schaefer and Macklin Celebrini. I mean, Schaefer played like 17 junior games, and he stepped right into the NHL. And Jonny, I was on your side. Like I thought Matthew Schaefer should have went to college this year. So it's like, what
how
do
stupid
I know?
are we?
I know how stupid are we. So like James Hagens, I think you're going to have to try, because I think when you heard from James Hagens this summer, he really wanted to go play for the Bruins. And I think, I don't want to say it left him with a sour taste in his mouth at all, because I don't know that. But like, you heard a lot of talk, like even leading up, it was like Sweeney was saying one thing, Hagens was saying the other. Like Sweeney was kind of always being like, oh no, he's going back. And Hagens was like, no, I want to make the team. So I think it's not going to be like a Cutter Gauthier situation here, but I think they're not going to want to piss James Hagens off here. And I think they're going to bring him right up. So I think, what's that?
And they're gonna burn the year, bring him right in. There's too much time, right? I mean, they like, you almost have to. He's 7th overall. Like, you really don't have a choice whether he's ready or not. You're gonna have to bring him in and burn.
And I think it was World Juniors. Like, you had Pasta quote tweeting like sick James Hagens goals, and he's like basically like itching for this guy to get to Boston. So I think, I think James Hagens, this time next week, we could be saying like, he's suiting up for the Bruins tonight. You know what I mean?
And with that too, G, like, are you really like so all in on the Bruins making the playoffs, or would you rather like get Hagens, have him play top 6 minutes? Because right now, like, your left side, like, who's playing top line? Who's Nadinov? Is he on the first line right now?
Oh, whoa.
As a left winger?
Don't come at my guy Kuzi. I love
but would you not rather have Hagens in that spot, or over Casey
100%.
Middlestat or Isamont? Like, who's like the left side right now is wide open for James Hagens to take over.
I couldn't agree more. But I do want to go to the Letourneau point that you made, Colby. And from what I've heard is that he wants to go and play for the Bruins. I don't know if that's going to happen though. I would send him back to BC for another year. Go enjoy college. Like, I'm sure last season in off the ice, I'm sure it wasn't as enjoyable for him due to his performance on the ice. He's the big dog on campus. Go enjoy a Marathon Monday. Go enjoy the mods. Go be the guy at Boston College for a year. And next season, or even this summer, if he has a change of heart and he wants to come next season, fine. But I think we keep him. I'm in no rush to get Dean Letourneau to Boston. Hagens, on the other hand, I would love to see him in a Bruins uniform soon. And then for the trade deadline, going into the trade deadline, I was happy they stood pat. Even with like I don't really see eye to eye, I think, with a lot of Bruins fans on this. Like, I don't want to be the Philadelphia Flyers. And I've said that, where it's like the Philadelphia Flyers for years and years and years are just in the middle of the pack. They're too good to get a top 5 draft pick, but they're too shitty to make the playoffs. That's not what I want here. So luckily, things have kind of changed this year a bit, like with the Toronto Maple Leafs pick. I wanted that, the Bruins to have a top 5, top 10 pick on their own. That didn't happen. Now we have the Maple Leafs pick, so that kind of changes things. But I mean, if you could go into the draft with 7 or 8 from the Maple Leafs and then 14 or 15, that is good draft capital to have. So saying that, I would prefer the Bruins don't make the playoffs. I know that's probably pretty crazy, and I know a lot of Bruins fans don't agree with that. But that's where I stand. I would love, at the same time, like, if they make the playoffs, would I be there cheering them on and hoping they win?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like, long-term picture, if they don't make the playoffs this year, am I going to be mad? No, not at all.
And just to help you out here, G, I don't think you're saying you're rooting for them to miss the playoffs. I just think you're saying you're indifferent. You're indifferent if they do or don't.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing that Bruins fans and I don't really see eye to eye on, is like, I'm looking for the future. I want, every time I watch the Bruins play, I hope they win. But if they don't, I'm not as mad as I've been in years past, because I'm like, okay, it's kind of like win-win here, right? Like, if they lose these games and don't get in the playoffs, they're going to have some great draft capital to maybe move up in the draft. Who knows? Or go get a big dog this summer.
Well, they've got 2 in the first round this year, 2 in the first round next year. Like they're all of a sudden. I remember talking to you last year, and it's like, oh man, like we were having the conversation, who's in a worse spot, the Rangers or the Bruins, and it's clear now who is in a worse spot between those two teams. Like the Bruins have a ton of prospects, like Hagens, like Letourneau. Gasso is another one at BC. Zeller's another one.
Zellers, I really like.
There's so many guys. Yeah, so many guys who are studs. And then you look at the draft picks they have. Like I said, they got 2 in the first round this year, 2 next year, 1 in 2028. And they got all their second rounders for the next 3 years. Like they're in a great spot right now to be competitive right now. And, toward like we were talking about Pasta wanting to potentially leave. And now there's probably no way he'd want to with where the future is probably headed here.
I know we have to give Don Sweeney credit, right?
Hold on. Let me ask you about that, okay?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go to Sweeney next. And I wanted to ask you, it felt like 12 months ago, people were kind of calling for his head. And
people,
it's funny,
G was.
Like, I that was loud noise, and you were not, like, that was a large majority.
Yeah, it was the whole Bruins fan base. But I was leading the pack.
It's funny. Like, I've always been in this place with him where I'm like, yes, his drafting, there's been a lot of misses within the drafting, but I also believe part of the reason for that is that Don Sweeney travels with the NHL club. Don Sweeney has not had a season in probably since he took the job where he said, I'm going to be a scout this year, because his team has been involved almost every season as him as a general manager, right? Some GMs don't miss a second with their team. Some GMs are like head scouts because their team is in a situation where they need to see everyone. And it doesn't absolve Don Sweeney because he's still got to put the right staff in place to make sure those draft picks hit. But it's been one of his weaker spots. I think his contracts have been pretty good. His patience has been good. Some of his free agent signings that people question, trades, a lot of them have worked out. His batting average,
he's the best. He might be the best trader in the NHL. Like
his batting average is pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like Sweeney has bought himself a nice little chunk of time here where Cam Neely doesn't have to be sitting on his desk wagging his finger in his face every day for the next couple of seasons?
Absolutely. I mean, I was talking last year. I was going on shows and people are like, so who's the next GM going to be? Like, we were already moving past, like, it wasn't like, is Don going to get fired? It's like, when is he getting fired and who's coming in next? I remember being like, Jamie Langenbruder, the next GM of the Boston Bruins. But, yeah, man, he's what he did at the last deadline, and I'm still not a fan of the Marchand trade. I just like that one still eats at me. I just don't think that Florida pick is going to be worth fuck all in 2027. But that the Coyle trade, getting Zellers in there, I mean, I think that's an awesome ad there. And then the Toronto trade, like that trade not only did that set your franchise up for years to come with getting Fraser Minton, getting the Toronto first round pick, you also put Toronto in a real tough spot. So I think Don Sweeney has done a masterclass of retooling here on the fly. I owe Don an apology, essentially. Like I was wrong. I don't know. Like I thought the team was going in a worse direction than they were. And yeah, I think Don Sweeney's definitely bought himself some time here, and I'm excited for what he's building, to be honest with you. Like it's crazy the 360 I've done, and it's not only I'm not only not calling for the guy's job anymore, but I'm really excited for what is being built here. And
the Spitting Up on Yourself podcast boys are apologizing. Yeah. Isn't that what he called you? The Spitting Up on Yourself boys or whatever.
He did. Yeah, he did.
And he kind of got away with it. Not a lot of people get away with coming after you guys, but give Sweeney credit. He came and he survived. Not a lot.
He ran and also threw a punch and then just like took off.
But it's also a win for you guys that he did that. It's kind of like, okay, like we're kind of in his head. Like that's how I took it, right? Like
press is good press, right?
Yeah. But also,
it's still funny though.
Oh, it's so funny, man.
It's still funny.
Yeah, and I think he's a ball buster too, though. Like, I think if we saw him, he would be he'd be cordial.
For sure.
And
yeah, he'd be cordial. He's not, but don't kid yourself. Like, he doesn't have it in him to be like a fun guy or like smile or, I mean, even I remember hearing from guys that he played with, and equipment managers that were still there. And they would tell us stories about Sweens, about like
I've heard
guys
some of those stories.
Felt about him as a teammate.
Yeah.
Listen, tremendous player, ultra serious guy. I mean, like, I would be shocked if Sweens smiles even at home when I can't imagine that guy ever smiles.
But that's kind of what I like. Like, I want a miserable
Stanley Cup or bust. If they don't win, he's miserable. And Cam, twice as miserable. You know what I mean? Like, you have two crazy people, and I say that in a good way, running the Boston Bruins, right?
That's perfect.
Two crazy
we have
people.
A crazy fan base, so it's
they're
perfect.
savages. Those two guys, they are.
One thing I would like to see here is and this is crazy because I was beating the trade Victor Arvidsson drum for months. I really wouldn't hate a Victor Arvidsson extension here. I don't think it's. Like, I don't want to lose the guy for nothing here. He's fitting great. Everything I've heard about this guy in the locker room is he's been incredible in the locker room. He's great for the young guys. I just, he's fitting so good. It's like, if you can get this guy at a low AAV, maybe around like $4 million, 3 years, $4 million. I don't know.
That's what he makes now. No, he makes $4 now.
Three and a half. Redo it.
Give him a little bit of term, so he does like, hey, listen, I know that I have a little bit of security, right? And I'm not, you know, but I mean, you know, Marco Sturm seems to be getting more out of certain guys than others have. And we've seen that with St. Louis, although people I do feel like are starting to turn on St. Louis a little bit.
Are they?
But yeah, I think a little bit. I think the noise around him is starting to, the chatter is starting to pick up just a little bit. People are wondering if he's like the guy to actually see the end of the rebuild into the next phase of the rebuild. I think people are wondering that, but
Marco, what would be cool? And I to go a little off topic here, but I think you guys will like this. And I never would wish for someone to get fired, but by the grace of God, if the Canadians were dumb enough to fire Martin St. Louis, how cool would it be if St. Louis went back to UVM, took over that program, and got them back to the promised land?
Oh, wow.
That would be awesome.
Well, then you're also talking about Weeds getting fired.
Oh, yeah, that's your boy. We'll send him up to the NHL.
We love Weeds. Yeah, just do a swap.
We'll do a coaching swap. Vermont BU on Wednesday. So I don't have a lot of faith in my boys. I hope they win, but my faith is low. BU and BC, like, what disappointing years for both of them. I mean, I
had them both in the Frozen Four.
I said a month ago that I thought BC would go on a run in the second half. I looked at the way Letourneau and Hagens were playing, and I looked at the fact that they've got Fortescue, they've got Manetti in. You know, they were going to get Gasso and Jelvik back. I can't believe how poorly the season has gone. They played themselves into it. Now they've played themselves out of it. I mean, they are such a long shot to make the NCAA tournament this year. And I think both Pando and Greg Brown and their staffs, which are full of tremendous coaches, they got to go to the drawing board here because it's unacceptable.
BU has dealt some bad cards here, though, this year. Like, BU, the youngest team in college hockey, Boisvert hurt basically all year. I'm not worried about BU. They got Carter Meyer coming. They got Sam Pandolfo coming.
Yeah, they're good players. They'll always get them. Yep.
You got to jump on the UMass bandwagon, man. UMass has been one of the hottest teams in the country here over the last stretch. You got to jump on.
Listen, they still got to win games to get in, though, Johnny. There's no.
They're 16 right now.
Yeah, but
they are.
They've jumped up. They've jumped up.
I've got an email right now from Mike McMahon. You know, I pay for his College Hockey Insider.
I do too. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Best $8 or $7 a month. If you like college hockey, look up Mike McMahon from his College Hockey Insider. You get multiple emails a week.
Can you send me that link? Actually, I'm going to subscribe.
They are so easy to digest. And he put basically 12 spots are locked for the NCAA tournament, Johnny. And the qualification changes this week. One of the two changes, UMass moves in, St. Thomas moves in, BC moves out, UConn moves out. But the percentages are still not like UMass has a 39% chance to make the team or to make the tournament. Being in the top 16 doesn't get you in. You need to be in the top 12 or let's say 13 at the lowest, because 14 and 15 are going to go to surprise teams that win conference tournaments. So UMass still needs to win a couple more games, Johnny. I hope they get in. When I have a UMass game, I'm always like hoping to see a show from UMass. I like UMass. I love Greg Carvel. Big fan of his work, as you know.
Well, tell me about UMass. Oh, like I haven't watched much UMass this year, to be honest.
Dude, Michael Hrabal.
I see if you're calling a game. Oh, he's awesome. He's fucking huge too. But yeah, tell me about UMass. What makes him so good?
Michael Hrabal right now, he's a Utah Mammoth prospect. Obviously, he was drafted, I think, second round or third round. You're gonna have to fact check me on that one. By Arizona, but him and this Larry Keenan, 4th round pick of Detroit, big defenseman. I think 6'4", 6'5", maybe even bigger than that. Has a couple of highlight reel goals this year. Great stick in the D zone, closes gaps, and has shown such offensive upside this year. Like end-to-end rushes, shorthanded goals. Like he's kind of exploded out of nowhere. Coach Carve actually said, and I'm quoting him directly, he might be the second best defenseman to ever play for this program. Like after Cale Makar. Like that's how good. Yeah. Colby, your face jumps up. That's a big statement from Carve.
Well, because Ferraro, Delgaggio, I mean, there's been some stud.
Morrow.
And they're all in the NHL right now. I mean,
UMass
has
big statement from Carve.
Half a dozen guys in the NHL at defense in the last 7-8 years.
Yeah. And this is a 4th round pick we're talking about. Like Larry Keenan has literally accelerated beyond measures this year. He's a guy, I'm telling you, if you're pumping up any college guys who aren't getting the love, Larry Keenan is someone that needs it right now. Look at his goal last weekend against UNH. He literally takes on like 3 guys of UNH shorthanded and dances around him and does like he protects the puck and tucks it past the goalie, backhand to forehand. But Michael Hrabel's been the story, I think. Huh? Yeah, Montour's not one. Michael Hrabel.
Brandon Montour went to UMass for a month or something like that.
How do we leave that one out?
Yeah,
it's like JR. So JR went to BC for like a week. He literally went to Boston College for a week, and he's like, no, this ain't for me. I'm going to the Q.
But Montour's story is crazy. I've definitely told it on here. Montour went from Waterloo in the USHL to UMass at Christmas to signing an NHL contract with the Ducks after the semester at UMass. 3 leagues in 1 year. Jumped up in one season. Insane story. But yeah, Václav Vestersil, obviously another big name for UMass that's had a good season. Jack Musa is going to sign an NHL contract when their season ends. I think Jack Musa, Larry Keenan, and Michael Hrabal all sign NHL contracts when the season's over. But like Michael Hrabal to me right now is the story of the team. He should probably win the Mike Richter Award. He's been that good, like unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, though, not to kind of change pages here, I would not be shocked if BU went on a run and won the Hockey East tournament. Like I've said that, I said that a few times.
You're crazy.
The
way they played against Lowell, they needed to win 1 game against Lowell to get a bye in the first game of the playoffs. They play Vermont Wednesday night. 1 game, they needed to come out and have a good effort. Their effort stunk. It was hard to believe in a game like that, they turned in that effort. You're insane to think they're going to go on a run. And I bleed scarlet. But listen, it is what it is. 3 Frozen Fours in a row. Time to hit the reset button.
Well, let me say, you got the coach. You got the coach. You got the D-man. If Big Mike gets hot, who knows what could happen.
He has been hot.
Exactly. You got Boisvert. You got Yzerman.
Yeah, but
want to run.
Listen, I got to tell you, man, Sasha Boisvert, good luck to him in Chicago, because I haven't seen a more disappointing season out of a bigger name player at BU, and I don't know how long. I could tell you all the holes that I saw from him in his game this year. Listen, you call a spade. Like it is what it is with him, and he looked completely disinterested in being a Terrier this year. And maybe North Dakota knew something that we didn't know at BU. I have no idea. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for 1 freaking second.
Well, that's because you're signing those NIL checks too, Colby.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it whatsoever. But I can tell you this. I can tell you this. I think the goaltender will be back, so New Jersey Devil fans are going to have to wait. I think we'll expect to see Yegorov back at BU next year, which I think is the right decision for him.
Who else is coming in?
Any other guys? Listen, they've got Malhotra's kid coming in who's supposed to be a stud. I hear really good things about him. Couple of other guys that they've been. I mean, listen, Tynan Lawrence next year will be really good. You know what I mean? This was a perfect little introduction for him. But
is there any chance that Carter Meyer could come up and play a 17-year there?
No, I think he'll do one more year at the national team, or wherever. I have no idea. I know I'll run into Carter, and I love talking to Carter. He's full of swagger. That kid, he'll be really good. His swagger.
People are really high on this kid, man.
Yeah.
I got a name for you. I got a name for you, Colby. Actually, a 16U player for the Jersey Avalanche, Chris Pinko. I don't know if he's committed, but he's 15 years old. This kid's insane. I skate with him. Actually, I don't know if I told you, but I've been getting invited to the Devils staff game day skates. It's so cool. The Devils, I think Ray Shero started it in Pittsburgh. I don't know if you remember from 24/7, the people that work for the Penguins, Bilesma would hop on. They do a game day skate for all the staff, sales, marketing. So the Devils, my friend Lewis had been inviting me. So I've been going to Devils staff game day skates. And this kid, Chris Penko, has been out there, 15 years old, and he tears up the entire skate. He's unbelievable. Don't think he's committed anywhere.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that, Jonny. You're the face of the New York Rangers. You can't be going on tummy stick skates, pregame tummy stick skates with the Devils staff.
Johnny, first shift I was out there, I got sticked in the face too.
All right. Look. There's one more thing we need to cover today, and there's nobody better on here to do this while you are, G. And I want to treat our audience to a video of Jonny doing an interview. And
are we doing the Backus interview?
This has to be one of the dumbest things I have ever seen and Jonny has ever done. And just wait until you see what David Backus' facial expression looks like when I don't read many books. Johnny Lazarus got himself confused in a pretzel. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're going to play the whole thing, and then we're going to let everybody have their reactions in the chat. So, Vic, without further ado, tee up the video.
Oh, God. One thing that I just have to ask you about, which I didn't even ever think about in my life, I don't think. You brought a translator to the vet because the dogs don't understand English. You have to... the dogs just only speak Russian. I would never think of that. You just kind of automatically think the dog understands.
The vets don't speak English.
Oh, well, the dogs probably don't understand English too.
Oh,
no, if they're
probably
Russian
not,
dogs.
they speak the language of love. But we were, a dog's pretty smart. Whether you say whatever it is in Russian or say sit, and you reward them with a little human food, they learn in a hurry. But the vet, and to try to get through the vet of what do I need to get this dog out of here? That's all right. That Vic, was what the Russian interpreter was for. And
I stand by my statement. I stand by it. If you only speak Russian to a dog and all of a sudden you start speaking English, you think they're going to understand?
They're not going to understand the translation, though, Jonny. Why? Who? How? A translator for so they're speaking dog to Russian?
No, so my thought process. So
wait. The Rangers wire in the chat says, "Holy shit, the Devils can take Jonny."
So I'll say this though. Hold on, I'll say this. My older brother, great guy, awesome dude, not the brightest bulb. He told me years ago he has a German Shepherd. And I went over to his house and he was doing all the commands in German. And I was a little confused by this. And then I was doing a Barstool radio show with Uncle Chaps, who he works at Barstool. He was a military dog handler. And I asked him, I said, Chaps, I was like, my older brother does his commands and his dog for a German Shepherd. He does them in German because it's a German Shepherd. And he laughed in my face and said, that is unequivocally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So it's kind of you're kind of
my brother is also an idiot like you.
Great guy, Jonny, but an idiot.
Great guy, me well.
I don't know if the chat's understanding though. So like David Backus was telling me he bought dogs in Sochi, and he was bringing these dogs home to the States. And I guess
a
he had
lot
to
of the
bring them to
guys
the vet to
did,
make sure.
by the way.
Yes,
Remember,
and Stepan. Yes,
did.
I know.
Shaddy brought one home too.
Mm-hmm. Those were all Backus's doing. Yeah, that was all Backus. So, like, my thought was like, oh, like he got these dogs in Russia, and I'm sure the dogs are used to answering Russian commands. So when he's saying, "Come here, boy, sit," like the dog doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because the dog only hears Russian. So I thought, like, that's just where my brain went.
David Backus' expression when you said that, he almost thought maybe you were messing with him, and then he was like, "Wait a second, he's being serious. I have to jump in here and correct him."
They speak the language of love.
The Backus family does do great work when it comes to dogs and adopting dogs, and you know, like they do great work. They always have. Look at his social media. Him and his wife. They're a big part of the communities that they've been a part. I'll never forget when he really didn't like Bruce Cassidy. It hit during his time in Boston. That was an ugly situation for a legendary player, David Backus. I mean, he's a beloved guy in locker rooms and from most coaches and this and that. So
great interview. He was the man. He
was
the
situation. Man. And check that in. That whole interview's on the Daily Faceoff's YouTube page, right, Johnny?
Yeah. That was for the Olympics. And I challenge you. Go have someone speak Italian to Rav and see if Rav responds.
They know tones too, Johnny. Dogs know tones too. It's not just words. It's tones a lot with dogs.
All right, I'll give up.
The smartest corgi on planet Earth. She can understand like 30 or 40 different languages.
It's like when I yell at you, Johnny. The words don't matter. It's just my tone, right?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, G. Listen, we love when you come on here, G. Yeah. We said this to Army the other day, but it applies to you as well. It just, you fit in seamlessly, pal, and we appreciate that. So we'll keep in touch with you as Hockey East and the NCAA starts pushing towards the Frozen Four. We'll obviously, Johnny, are you going and doing your USHL?
I believe so. I haven't gotten like full confirmation, but I would imagine I'd be going there for the USHL. Yeah.
Got it. All right. I'll be in Loveland, Colorado, G, and then Vegas. So we'll be out at the West Regional. So that'll be cool this year. And we'll see you in Vegas. All right, man.
Well, thanks, boys. Yeah, love coming on. Love the chat. And tune into Chicklets U today, 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
We will definitely. Yeah. Wisconsin. You guys will love that.
Let's go, baby.
I know a lot of you love college hockey that are with us. So go to that Chicklets U video. That'll be awesome. Thanks, G. You're the best, man.
Love you, G.
Hey, guys. Love you, boys.
I didn't know that you planned on showing that. That was a fun way to end it. I showed my family that last night, Colby, and they were like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I played the end of yesterday's show, and you were like, "There's a disconnect from here to here, Johnny," and they're like, "Oh yeah," they were just loving it, absolutely loving it.
Listen,
that was good stuff.
Know you better. They know you better than anyone, Colby. What's in Loveland, Colorado? The first round. That's one of the regions for the first round of the NCAA tournament. Puck battle.
See, Zach Anderson's coming.
No, what did he say? I'm looking for it.
Zach said he's waiting for the USHL to provide a dog translator. They're so confused on what he actually wants.
Yeah. And Kramer, Molly lives in Boulder, Colorado, not Loveland, Colorado, which isn't that far from Loveland, to be fair. Anyways, Johnny, what do we got for Bet365 today? This show went long. I got to get out the door and head to practice. If you love G and you love Lappy today, give us a like. If you think Johnny's an idiot for that video, also give us a like.
Yeah.
And don't forget, comments on the stream, subscribe to the Daily Faceoff YouTube page, leave your comments or your ratings on our audio podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, automatic downloads. You guys know it. I really enjoyed today's show, Johnny. 2 really good guests. I really didn't know what to expect with Max. I really didn't. It's obvious why he has the show. Yeah, he's a incredibly well-spoken guy. So it is not shocking to me that he has a successful show on the network. So make sure you check that out. There's also an interview with Matthew Dach, Rupper, Arthur, and Jonny up on the YouTube, the Daily Faceoff YouTube, something they did from Tri-State. That was a great interview with Dach. Dach immediately started giving Jonny shit, calling him a traitor. it didn't take Matthew Darsh to long to catch on to the vibes of our show. So with that, Jonny, I'm going to kick it to you. I'm going to let you do Bet365, and then in whatever language you want, you can say goodbye to everyone and have the final word, and we'll even get you a translator.
I actually took Russian in high school, 10th grade through 12th. I don't remember much of it, but I thought that was pretty cool that I was able to do that. Side note, tonight's Bet365, bet of the night, whatever your bet is. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. You must be 19 or older. Honestly, there's a huge NHL slate tonight, 13 games, but one of the games to watch, like big game for playoff implications. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but San Jose at Buffalo tonight is a huge game. The Buffalo Sabres are a couple points back now of first in the Eastern Conference. They're at the top of the Atlantic Division. We're taking them to win in regulation against the San Jose Sharks. Buffalo has been on fire since coming back from the Olympic break. Macklin Celebrini and the Sharks still trying to, cut some room in their chase for the playoffs. Let me just look how far back the Sharks are exactly. They're just 1 point back of the Kraken right now in the Western Conference playoffs. So this is a huge game. And if you told us that in October, Colby, that we'd be dialed into a San Jose Sharks Buffalo game in March, I think everyone would have said we're crazy. So that's one of the big games to watch for tonight. Like I said, there's 13 games today. It's going to be a great slate of hockey. Another big game to watch is Columbus versus Tampa, as Columbus is now trying to march toward the playoffs. We got Vegas and Dallas, Pittsburgh and Carolina, Oilers, Avs to round out the night on TNT at 10 o'clock. So a great day, but we're going Sabres in regulation. So tomorrow's show should be pretty loaded. We actually do have the Columbus Blue Jackets video coach, Aaron Augustitis, hopping on tomorrow. Not sure if we'll do another guest, just because we'll probably have a lot to talk about from tonight, Colb. But I guess we'll see how the day goes. Yeah, you finished the show.
I already gave you the ball, Jonny. Take it.
Yeah, but I don't want the ball.
Take it, Jonny. Take it into the end.
Give it back. Give it back.
All right, listen. Great show today. God, you're pathetic. Really, our guests were great today. I think our guests in our chat, they always add to the show. I think they did in a big way today. We're grateful for that. We've got our Wednesday show planned, as we said. Thursday, a little bit of a wild card. We don't know what direction we're going to go in yet for Thursday's show, but we'll try to talk to you guys about it tomorrow. We'll try to feel you all out on what's relevant and what to talk about tomorrow. Still dealing with the remnants and the lingering effects of the trade deadline, I would say. The winners, the losers, the fallout. A lot of heat on Doug Armstrong right now for that whole Colton Parayko situation. I read a couple articles about that, and it sounds like if Matthew Darsh and Patrick Waugh were not at the hotel, I don't think Shen would be a New York Islander, which is really interesting. And not all that surprising. You get in front of two former players like that and men as great as those two, chances are you're going to like what they have to say, and they're going to have something interesting enough to say. So we'll continue to monitor all those different situations as we push towards the end of the week for us. Over the hump here, it's Tuesday for us. Tuesday's hump day as we head into Wednesday. But with that, we hope everybody has a great day, and we will see you all 9 a.m. tomorrow.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Morning Cuppa Hockey here on the Daily Faceoff YouTube channel. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And don't forget, we've got more great hockey content every day. You can catch DFO live at noon and stick around for the Sheet with Jeff Marek at 1 p.m. right here on Daily Faceoff. Until then, keep your coffee hot and your takes hotter.